holidays. Welcome to episode 100, part 2 of Africa's premier sports video podcast, the 3 Quarters podcast. As usual, we'd like to remind you to jump onto the hashtag 3QP. Tell us what your sporting interests are and, what you'd like to see on the show. I'm Jemima Duffield.
And I'm Nara Kamuya.
So we're looking at, it's a recap,
yes,
basically, of the Kenya Sevens, obviously, season.
Yeah.
And, some things that I, are sort of etched in my memory. Okay, so we had the Commonwealth Games. Okay, that wasn't etched, but, Kenya Lionesses came 6th, I believe.
Yeah.
And the men's team came 8th.
Yeah.
Kenya Lionesses, however, in the Africa Cup, finally winning it after 4 years of, coming second after South Africa. Coming second, finally won.
Yes.
And, this landed them an invitation to Dubai Sevens.
True.
Which, yes, they lost all their games, but still that's a win for me.
Yeah.
What stood out for you with the Sevens team?
It's what you've said for the Kenya Lionesses and the men. There's also the fact that we amassed the highest points in the 2017-2018 HSBC World Sevens Circuit.
Yep, I believe it was 104.
Yes, 104 points, and that was a team that really performed well. Getting to two back-to-back and getting to back-to-back finals.
Yep.
Sorry, I beg your pardon. I think it was Canada and Hong Kong or something like that. Yeah, getting to 2 finals. It was, fantastic performance by the Sevens boys. Namco's, since me putting in a good shift as a Sevens head coach. It's unfortunate that he had to go. Of course, there's a saga that happened in Paris when the team blacked out the Make It Kenya, the brand Kenya logo.
Yep.
Which is another debacle in its own. It cost Innocent Simiyu his job. I think it's cost a couple of people their spots on the team. Then they went to the World Cup in San Francisco. Didn't particularly have a good outing. Actually, they had a dismal performance at the World Cup in San Francisco. But also on the flip side, I like the fact that we're seeing a couple of new boys coming to the Sevens team. The likes of guys who've been on the fringes. And especially Jeffrey Oloch from Homeboys.
Yeah, he's been playing very well.
He's been playing extremely well at the national level, and I only hope he can build on his last year's performance for this year's circuit. Of course, there's the fact that Sevens is now under new management.
Yep.
Not too convincing. I don't think too many people are convinced. The fans are convinced, and look, it's our opinion. It's not cast in stone. It's our opinion. Or it's my opinion. Say your opinion. But you feel like it's a drop in standards from Innocent Simiyu to Paul Murunga. And look, granted, when Innocent Simiyu came, he had a lot of people made the same comments. But there's something that Innocent brings, and you had also seen it in his playing days and in his coaching at Impala. We saw the resurgence in Impala.
Yep.
And it was primarily due to what he put in there. So I have my reservations about what Paul Murunga can do at the Sevens level because of what we've seen at Homeboys. Despite having an excellent team, he's been unable to win the Kenya Cup. But look, it's a blank canvas for him. It's for him to paint whatever he wants to paint.
Yep.
And I guess with the right support, and that's another problem, with the right support from the union, I'm sure he can be able to produce some results. We're not too convinced, or I'm not too convinced, but look, he can prove us wrong.
Yeah, he can. At the moment, I wouldn't be too quick to judge in the sense that, yes, I do agree with you that I feel it is, a drop, from Innocent Simiyu to Paul Murunga.
Yeah.
But if you look at the crop of players that Paul Murunga has started with, you've also not got your stalwarts, just like how, Innocent Simiyu started.
True.
So we've got, all these young Turks sort of coming into the system, and they're doing pretty well. Fine, we're not where we want to be, but hopefully, either with our older players coming back, well, some of them are more experienced players, either coming back or, I don't know, maybe they'll get used to each other, they'll gel, they'll get used to the pressure, but we'll wait to see.
Yeah, we'll wait to see. All you hope for is that the union gives them the support that they need, because remember, we can't keep up these dismal performances for too long, because then we lose our core status on the HSP circuit. And it's detrimental to the development of the game. People have worked so hard to get us to where we are. We just can't start, declining just now.
That is very true.
Yeah, but that's for me, that's what stood out in 2018 for the Sevens. Yeah.
So now we move on to the big boys, and that is, Kenya 15s, real rugby. Anyway, yeah, so we saw Ian Snook, Murray Ralston come over as coaches, and we're thinking, okay, this can't be bad. This can't be bad. It's not going to be a dip. It's different, but not going to be a dip.
Yeah.
But that was not the case.
Yeah.
We were confused half the time.
Yeah.
Like, why is he playing here? What is happening here? Especially after our, Africa Gold Cup campaign before, and we did pretty well.
Yeah.
And then this year, it wasn't as convincing.
Yeah.
I mean, from the beginning, we were like, are we going to win this?
Yeah.
Are we really going to win this? So I don't think it was a shocker for anyone when Namibia beat us and we had to go for the repechage and then we lost all our games.
Yeah.
But what do you, okay, fine. We've got the preparation, which was not, their fault, which just didn't happen. We didn't put much work into it. You've got to, say kudos to the boys.
Yeah.
They tried their best.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the coaches were thinking, but I'm sure they thought they were doing their best. What do you think?
Let me tell you, there's something the union did last year that still puzzles me. Is hiring those two cartoons. Because, granted, Ian Snook has worked at the Brumbies. He was assistant coach to Eddie Jones, who's currently coaching the England team. Murray Ralston has served even to All Blacks level. He was a coach and when Wayne Smith was the coach of the All Blacks. But my biggest problem with them was that they came to Kenya thinking that there's no rugby that has been happening. And they thought that they're the ones who were bringing rugby to Kenya. It's been happening for a minute. And I mean, come on, guys have been playing for a minute. That's not the mindset Jerome Parvata came with when he came to Kenya. He came to learn exactly what happens here. And he tweaked what he think wasn't working well. And that's what got Kenya to where we did. I mean, we got to at some point during his reign, we were 22nd in the world. So these guys come and they try and make it look like we don't know anything. And you remember when they joined, we said that what the best move for them would be to retain the team that is there and just work on the systems now, right? Whether it's fitness, whatever it is. They were very impressive. And I think the Elgon Cup game away was a very impressive game. It was a very impressive show. But remember, that team that played at the Elgon Cup was a team that we've seen playing for Kenya for a very long time.
With maybe one or two changes, but yes, more or less the team that we have been seeing.
We've been seeing. And we all thought that, look, he was going to build on that team, or they were going to build on that team. And then they just start shuffling and putting, it's Felix Ayang at number 9. What was that at the repechage? Edmond Anya, fine, he's an exciting talent, but his time is not yet. I mean, in a game of that stature against Zimbabwe, we see what he did. You leave out your stalwarts like Jacob Oje. It was shocking. And we say this, I mean, the union did make a blunder by releasing Jerome Parvata at that time. If indeed you wanted to make a change, that's fine. But wait for the time when the time is right. Let him finish the 2018 season, which was a World Cup qualifying year, and then you can bring in your cartoons.
Yeah, see what to do from there.
Yes, see what to do from there. But look, it was a very disappointing outing. I mean, they came and they caused havoc and they changed almost everything in the 15th setup. I can tell you for a fact, having talked to a couple of the players, they weren't too excited with what happened, during the Murray Ralston and Ian Snook era. But look, it's happened. It just goes to show what lack of preparation brings. I mean, we didn't prepare well. And because of that, we lost out on our chance to play in the 2019 Rugby World Cup, something which I believe was very possible. But everything, of course, the buck stops with the union. And it's the union that has made all these blunders. The one who made the decision to fire Jerome Parvata. They brought in those cartoons, and they didn't give them money.
To make it worse.
Yeah, to make it worse. It was just a quagmire. But it wasn't a good season for 15s. But look, we keep on. It had. The boys had nothing to do with this. It was not their fault.
Yep.
It was not.
I believe those boys played their hearts out for their country.
Yes, they did.
So we move on to international rugby. And the RFU announced that there'll be 28 full-time contracts given to the England women's team, the 15s team, which is a big step, ahead for them. Their sevens outfit, is have contracts. And this is basically in preparation for the Women's Rugby World Cup. Now, you see, this is like what we've just talked about. Failing to plan is planning to fail. They are starting now.
Yes.
They're like, look, we need to get serious.
Yeah.
We need these, ladies to be in tip-top form,
Yeah.
and there you go.
And you see, remember, just after the Rugby World Cup, the Women's Rugby World Cup, last year, I think, we talked about the fact that it's only New Zealand who have contracted players on the women's side. And as a result of that, that's why they're dominant in the women's side, in the women's version of the game. So it's good to see what the RFE have done. They're pumping in money to the 15s women's team, and by the time the Rugby World Cup, the Women's Rugby World Cup arrives, you can be sure England are going to be competing with New Zealand, because these guys now are fully professionals. Their work is to come and play rugby. So it's a good move by the RFU, and it's a good move in trying to bolster the game of rugby by spreading your wings and also involving other women in the game.
Eat, sleep, breathe rugby. Just before we finish, this is the Rugby World Cup year. Yes, that Rugby World Cup we've been talking about in 2019 in Japan.
Yes,
this is the year.
This is the year. This is the year. Everything is geared towards September 20th, and the Rugby World Cup will be taking off in Japan. All the teams, and it's good to see what has been happening in rugby. I mean, there's a shift. Ireland are now coming to fold. We had seen an All Blacks dominance, which wasn't too good for the game. So it's everything is building up to September, and it'll only get intense when the Super Rugby starts, then the international season starts. Then after the Rugby Championship and the Rugby World Cup starts in September. So yeah, I mean, for those who are planning to go to Japan, all the best. We're all planning to go to Japan, but it should be a spectacular showcase.
Just before we wrap it up, guys, Pool A is Ireland, Scotland, Japan, Russia, and Samoa. Pool B is New Zealand, South Africa, Italy, Namibia, and Canada. Pool C is England, France, Argentina, USA, and Tonga. And Pool D is Australia, Wales, Georgia, Fiji, and Uruguay. So guys, who do you think is going to come top, be top of the pools? Let us know on social media by following us on Instagram, liking our page on Facebook, and subscribing to our YouTube channel. I'm Demima Duffy.
And I'm Naraka Muya.
See you in part 3. But we saw, reshuffling in terms of the boys.
Jesus.
Oh gosh. Okay, I was big. Yeah, it's good. I was being such a girl about that.
I hope
I hope